So it's probably not the best day for me to film a review. I've got a bit of a cold, I've got a stuffy nose, a bad throat, my eyes aren't doing well. But sod it, we're going to do it anyway. So, hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now, yeah, apologies, first off, about the cold. Not doing great today. Buzz is going to come alive a bit in this video, I think, as well. I can hear him flapping about in his cage. So I might have to pause the video and get him shut up. But anyway, yeah, if you couldn't guess by the background and the title of the video, I mean, you did click on it. Today we're going over Liam Gallagher's As You Were. So in this review, we're going to do the usual. We're going to give you a bit of information on the album. We're going to go over each track individually, mark each track individually out of 10, and then we'll give it an overall marking for this album out of 10, because I'll add all the scores given and divide it by the total number of scores given. I'm also going to show my copy of the vinyl record, and we're going to give the artwork a mark out of 10. But we won't be done there, because we're going to head over to my album ranking board, put it on there and see where it ranks compared to other albums I reviewed here on this channel. Whew. It is a mouthful, guys. It is a mouthful. I keep messing it up lately. But anyway, yeah, I've been meaning to review this album for quite some time now, but have not really found the effort to come around to reviewing it for quite a while, because it's not an album I'm massively keen on, as we'll discover. So for people who do like this album, just remember this is my opinion. This is something which I feel like I need to make clear, because every time I do a review, it seems like some people don't get it. It is my opinion, guys. Of course, you're all welcome as yours. Let me know what your opinion is down in the comment section below. We could all have friendly debates down there. It doesn't need to get too aggressive. But anyway, starting off, a bit of information on this album. This album was released on the 6th of October 2017. It is the first album under the name Liam Gallagher, which is very exciting because he is one of the biggest names in the music business. Technically his third solo one though, since he left Oasis, because he released this album first, Beady Eyes debut album, which was his second band, Different Gear Still Speeding, and then their second album, B or BE, I'm not sure what people say, whether they just say B or BE. Again, let me know in the comments below. Oasis fans, you guys will correct me. This album did achieve one really good record, which I think is really cool. It is the fastest selling or highest single week vinyl sale in 20 years, which means in terms of a single week, this album sold more copies than any other record out there in the past 20 years, which is very exciting. Also, Liam really was nervous to do this album, because the reason he formed Beady Eyes because he had a band there with him. He didn't like doing the promoting, he didn't really like doing stuff on his own. He'd always had Noel there. That's why he formed Beady Eye. Finally, he's decided to come out of his shell and do this, and you could tell in certain interviews that he was very nervous. He wasn't feeling it too much. He didn't like promoting stuff. He just wanted to make the music and go home, kind of thing. A really good interview is Graham Norton when he was promoting this album. You can see him there where he just consistently wants to, like, he's not really into it. Even Graham Norton says to him at one point, "Don't worry, Liam, we're nearly done. You can leave in a minute." I think Liam was a little bit stressed about some things on this album in terms of that kind of aspect to it. But anyway, he did a good job, and you know, he's really come out into the limelight a bit more. I've seen him doing more videos, more interviews and stuff on YouTube and whatnot. So he's got better, that's for sure. But anyway, there's 12 tracks on this album, so let's get started. So the first one up is my personal favourite track on the album, Wall of Glass. It's a great rocking number. It opens the album really well. It lets you know that you're going to get a somewhat safe Liam album, but a pretty fun one, pretty good one. The vocals are great. The drum beat to it is just awesome. That's what keeps this song going really well. It feels very Oasis at times with modern production on it. I mean, not that Oasis are that old, of course. I mean, you know, this album here is only just coming up to 10 years, their last album. So, you know, it's but you can tell it's like an Oasis song with a bit more of a modern production to it, which is good. The lyrics are good for what they are, and it also has a really cool music video. And generally, I can't find any faults with this song at all. So, I am going to give this song a 10 out of 10. I really feel, honestly guys, I know that seems really weird, but generally I really like this song. Every time it comes on, I get going to it. It's really fun. I won't change a thing about it. But then the album drops off almost immediately with a song called Bold, which is an acoustic based track, really. The verses are okay, but they go into a pretty bland chorus, which I think is really disappointing. You sit through all these verses and they're kind of like, you know, this is alright. It kind of just feels like Liam's just kind of going along with this one. But you think, okay, well the chorus should be good, because Liam always gives us good choruses. And the chorus just doesn't do nothing. The whole song kind of feels bland. Yeah, there's meant to be a solo in there as well from the guitar, I think, but it kind of just fades into the rest of the song, which isn't very good. The vocals are good though, but generally this is a song I just don't really care about. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. And the next track's called Greedy Soul, which is a bit more of an upbeat and fun number, but again, feeling very Oasis-y, which this whole album kind of feels. It's all kind of very reminiscent of the Liam we know and expect. The lyrics were just weird on this one. The lyrics, there's a lot of swear words in it. It's a bit of a bad song. If you're not into hearing swear words in songs, do not put Greedy Soul on. It's an okay song. I'll give it a 6. It's a bit better than Bold. Then we get Paper Crown, which is a very slow acoustic number, which has some really, really good vocals. Really good. Like, the doubling works really well. The lyrics are good. I like how the other instruments kind of kick in after the first verse. It gives the song a bit more character to it, a few more layers. Yeah, it's an okay song. I'll give this one a 7. It's pretty good. And then we get For What It's Worth, which of course was the big single of the album. Also had a good music video, not quite as good as Wall of Glass, but and this song was everywhere when this album was gearing up for release. Can't blame them. It's a good single choice, as was Wall of Glass, because I think that was the one that came just before it. Classic Oasis sounding. This one you could take right off any Oasis album. Has some good lyrics, good vocals. The structure of the song is great, because not many other songs I can say that about on this album. And the chorus is just really fun. I'm going to give this track a 9 out of 10. It's a really, really good song. And then we got closing side 1, a song called When I'm in Need, which starts very slow, with this kind of grainy sound to it, like it's come out of the 1930s or 40s. Not sure why they did that, but hey ho, they did, who cares? And then of course it immediately just goes back to having a modern production sound to it. Liam's vocals are amazing on this one. They go from being relaxed at times to him just going for it in later parts of the song, which is really good. It shows that Liam can have good vocal range. But overall, the song's just, again, it's kind of there. It's one of the forgettable ones again. It's alright. I'll give it a 6. Now, moving on to side 2, we got You Better Run opening us up, which is a faster, real foot-tapping song. But pretty standard again. It's kind of the choruses and the verses all kind of blend together, and you kind of get lost in the song. And when the choruses and the verses are kind of blending together, it's harder to get into a song, I think. It's an okay song, but again, nothing special on this one. I'll give it a 6. Then we got a track called I Get By, which is a similar paced song, which is not great because you put on side 2 and you're immediately into these two songs, which are not great. They both kind of blend together. But I do prefer this one a bit because the songs it's exactly the same as the last song, really, in terms of how I feel about it. And then about halfway through, this new verse or this new chorus kind of kicks in, and it's really fun. Don't know why he didn't use that more throughout the song. It's weird. The song takes a bit of a turn halfway through, and it gets a lot better. But again, I can't give the song too much of a high mark and rave about it because it's still a pretty messy song. And pretty bland as well, for the most part. But I'm going to give it a 7, because there are some really good bits to it. Then we get a song called Chinatown, which has this great acoustic start to it. Liam sounds great, like he's on a stage on his own just with this acoustic guitar. And it's incredible. I really, really love that sound. I thought it was really good. The only problem is when the chorus hits, again, all the other instruments kick in and it becomes your typical bulk standard song for this album. Which is a real shame because it makes it less memorable. And I wish that they'd kept this sound which he had in the first verse throughout the whole song. He does kind of revisit it throughout the verses, but I wish that he just kept that style throughout the whole song. It would have made the song a little bit more unique, given it a bit more character. But again, it's a good song though. I do like this one. I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. Then we get a song called Come Back to Me, which I'm pretty sure was the last single for this album after its release. And yeah, it's a more rocking song, and again, really well paced. They picked the best singles for this album, 100%, because Wall of Glass, For What It's Worth, and Come Back to Me are the songs with really good structures. They have a really good flow to them, these songs. And that's why I'm giving them ones higher marks. Because I'm going to give this one an 8, because it's really good. It has that Oasis sound again, which, you know, every song on this album pretty much has that Oasis feel to it. But, you know, this one more than others. Also, the song has a great guitar solo in it, which I always respect, so, yeah. And then we get Universal Gleam, I think that's how you say it, Gleam. So it's a slow song with, it's an okay song. Good lyrics. The chorus is very slow and bland, and again, it all kind of flows together with the with the verses. Sorry. The way I look at this song is, it feels like they just didn't know what they wanted to do with it. I had the lyrics on paper, and they were just kind of like, oh, we'll just record it. We'll just do it. Just put a box standard sound on this one. We won't put much effort in on this one. This is the faraway track. We'll just chuck it on the album. It'll do. It's a bit of filler. So yeah, as you can tell, not crazy about this one. I'm going to give it a 5. And then the last track, closing the album, finally we're at the end, I've All I Need, which is a pretty predictable song in terms of lyrics. You can break them up as you can go along. You can beat Liam to them if you want, probably. But it's a good song. It's a steady paced song. Again, it's one of the better structured songs again, actually, if I'm being honest. But it has great payoff with the chorus on this song. It has a really, really good, really fun chorus, which again is what you kind of expect from Liam Gallagher. But anyway, I'm going to give this song a 7 out of 10. So yeah, overall, tracks on this album, I kind of find most of them pretty bland, and a lot of them kind of flow together. When you listen to this album, you are going to have a good time. I don't want to sound too negative on it, because all these songs are fine, but most of them are nothing more than that. But yeah, anyway, it is a good album. The music is good. There's some real standout songs. I'd recommend going to the singles. Wall of Glass, For What It's Worth, and Come Back to Me. Chinatown and Paper Crown are also quite good as well. But anyway, let's take a look at the vinyl record. So here it is. Very, very, very dodgy cover. I don't like it at all. It looks, I think it's meant to be, it's made to look like an old 7-inch picture sleeve almost. Or that's what it reminds me of, because you can see like the crinkling of the paper on the outside. That's not my record. It's just generally what the cover's meant to look like. You see some crinkling around there. So that's kind of cool. I just don't like the photo they used. And again, it just looks like no effort's gone into this cover at all. It's very bland. It's not a gatefold either. And then the back is just as plain as well. Do get a download code with it. I've already used it. I have put this on my phone because I wanted to hear For What It's Worth from Wall of Glass. And I still have Wall of Glass on my current playlist. So you can tell I like that song. But the inner sleeve, I really like this. This would have been a better cover, really. Put a title up here in the corner. Could have done some editing with the photo. This would have been a much better cover. But anyway. And in the back, in case you want to sing along. If you really want to go there. And then the vinyl, pretty, you know, again, bog standard, pretty boring. So yeah, I don't really like the artwork to this album overall. I'll give the artwork to this album a 4 out of 10. So anyway, what I've done is I've added up all 12 scores for the songs, and the album artwork score. So I've divided it by 13 because there's 13 scores given. And out of 10, this album is going to get a 6.7. So it's a 6.7 for Liam Gallagher's As You Were. What we're going to do now is, though, we're going to head over to the album ranking board, put it on there, see where it ranks compared to other albums I've reviewed here on this channel. So yes, here we are back over to the album ranking board, of course. Now I'll just make it quick today. We'll just have a quick little scroll down here till we find the album we've just reviewed. Liam Gallagher, As You Were. So of course, you can see all the albums here which are beating it out. Albums which I personally feel are better. And there he is on a 6.7 just down here. You can see Noel Gallagher's new album, Who Built the Moon, just up here, just beating it out. See the album I reviewed only the other day, just here as well. So yeah, there's a few albums which it's beaten out as well. So let's take a quick scroll down and see what I think it's better than. And then of course these two down here, and then the rest of the board's empty for now. And so yes, that's it for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I noticed it was one of my shorter reviews. Generally because there's not that much to say on this album, I don't think. In terms of lyrics, there's not much to go into. Backstory, there's not much to go into. And each song kind of blends into one another and it all kind of sounds very similar. So there's not much I could say about each track individually. But anyway, as always, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. As always, it is my opinion, so let me know what your guys' opinion is in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of this album. Personally, I preferred Noel's album from last year. Even though when I done my 2017 ranking, I did put Liam's above Noel's at the time. But it just shows how opinions change. So I would go back and put Noel's album, Who Built the Moon, above Liam's As You Were. But anyway, hey-ho. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Please hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and I will see you guys next time for another video.